New show alert, you guys. This is gonna be the review of My House, episode 1, season 1. So let me give a little bit of a disclaimer before we get started. I did not know anything about balls and houses and all of that until about probably 5 years ago with a friend of mine. We're not friends no more. That's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. Actually, it ain't much of a story. Anyway, I'm going off that track. And I really wish that me and her were still friends because now that I'm kind of like, anyway, learning and all this stuff. Anyway, so, but she had told me about balls and houses and stuff, and and it didn't make sense. I really didn't understand it. I didn't know what the hell. I was like, a ball, house, like, what you talking about? And she was like, yeah, you know, House of Chanel, and da-da-da. I was like, what? What are you talking about? And so she was like, girl, I'm going to take you to New York, and we're going to go to a ball. I'm going to take you to a ball. And I was like, all right. And I'm in the DMV area, and she didn't know of any balls in this area. But she had been to a couple of balls in other places. Needless to say, I never made it to a ball. But that was my introduction to the ball scene, the whole mindset of a ball, what it is. Then I was told, you need to watch Paris is Burning. So what I'm going to say to you guys who are looking at this review, which thank you to everybody who's watching. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, like, all that good stuff. But what I'm going to say to you is this. If you have not seen Paris is Burning, after you watch this review, go watch Paris is Burning because it is on Netflix. And the beginning of the beginning of this episode gave me so much Paris is Burning. Like, it gave me just an updated Paris is Burning. And I feel like that's what this is going to be. And this is on Viceland. So, I don't know what your cable subscriber is, but let me look. If you have DirecTV, which is what I have, it is on channel... Girl, now I ain't going to be able to find it. Oh, Viceland is on channel 1271. I didn't even know I had a fucking 1271, but okay, I'm glad I picked it up though. But I just put it in my search for My House because everybody was talking about it, and I kept hearing about My House, My House, My House on Viceland. And I had heard of other good shows on Viceland before, but I just never watched any of them. So anyway, let's get into this review. So this is the first episode. So what you're really getting is really like a crash course in ballroom, which for somebody like myself, I needed that. Some stuff I knew, a lot of stuff I didn't. And so you have some players. People who are, when I say players, I mean characters. Because it's like a reality series, but it's not as scripted. It's more documentary style. But they do follow certain characters. So I wouldn't even call it a reality series. I'm going to say it's like documentary. I don't really want to put it on reality status because it's not giving me reality tease, okay? So I'll take that back. It's not reality. But it's like docuseries. And I don't know how many parts they're going to be, but I know there are at least 3 because there are at least 3 out. So anyway, let's just jump right into this. So they start off this episode is called The Coldest Winter Ever because that's like a really big ball in New York. And they're at the episode builds up to the ball, where they go to the ball. And if you're not familiar with what balls are places where you have the LGBT community. And if I say anything that is incorrect or wrong, please drop it in the comments. Please know that nothing I'm saying is meant to be disrespectful. If anything I say that is wrong, it is out of ignorance and not out of malice, okay? So charge it to my head, not my heart. Please let me know. But the balls are the place where they do the voguing and they have the different categories, and most cases, not in all, because we're going to see that take place in this series, in most cases you're a part of a house, and the houses are named after people, they're named after designers, they're named after different things. You walk in the different categories. And they can have a million different categories depending on the ball, how big the ball is, and all of that, how many people are participating. And they really are a refuge for people who in the LGBT community who are sort of feel outcast. You know, they feel like they don't belong anywhere else, or they've been called sissies or punks or whatever those words are, and have been made to feel like they didn't belong. And it was a culture that rose in the 80s. It didn't start in the 80s, but it rose to a big prominence. And if you see Paris is Burning, it's from the 80s. Okay. Um, so one of the characters, Alex, one of the first characters we meet is uh, a young lady by the name of Ebony. And Ebony is a commentator. So Ebony doesn't do a lot of walking, but she's a commentator. And let me tell y'all something. These commentators are on it. It's almost like those auctions where you go to and they're talking real fast, right? But she's commentating and, bringing in the people who are on the floor and bringing in the categories, and and keeps the party going. And it is, honey, if you're good, you're good, and she's good. They show clips of her, and she travels all over. Um, so she you see her character. She does most of the commentating in this episode. And then you have Alex. Alex is a member of the House of Montclair. That's the one I was worried about pronouncing, because it's not pronounced the way it's spelled, but whatever. And she loves Alex. Alex is the bomb. They show him voguing, and Alex is getting it. He is beautiful. He is a beautiful young man, and he looks good, okay? Alex be getting his ass. Alice is known as a legend, and we're going to talk about their different categories. Then we have Tatiana. Tatiana is what's known as a 007, because right now she no longer belongs to a house. She used to belong to the House of Montclair with Alex, but she no longer belongs to a house. I mean, when you don't belong to a house, then your last name is 007, meaning you're alone. You're by yourself. If you belong to a house, then your last name is usually the name of your house. And again, if I'm wrong, y'all let me know. Y'all get me together in the comments. But this is my understanding based on, between Paris is Burning, my ex-friend, and my crash course. Okay? Y'all, I'm feeling so much better than I did yesterday. If y'all saw that incontent review, you know that I was not feeling good. But, we're going to push through and make it work. But I feel a lot better. My sinuses was just whoo. But anyway, then we have Jelani. And Jelani, by his own description, so again, this is how he describes himself, as masculine. He said, I don't, and I like what he said. He said, I don't act any one way. He's like, I don't try to act masculine. I don't try to act feminine. This is just who I am. And some of my mannerisms come off as masculine. Some of my mannerisms come off as feminine. But I'm not trying to fit into any one category. It's just really just who I am. That's just my personality. That's how my makeup. And I believe him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe he's put on no airs. And he's from the house of Mazra. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm writing all this stuff down. And there are a million houses. Ebony said there are over 20 houses. And, so you could belong to any of these different houses. Now, what I'm not clear on, and again, y'all get me together in the comments. I'm not really clear on how you join, and I'm not really clear on how you leave. Like, do you write a letter of resignation? Do you just tell... Like, I don't know. Because that's going to be some of the drama with Alex and Tati. They call her Tati, but her name is Tatiana. Is that she left the house of Claire, and she... So, again, and maybe that's something they'll explain later on, but they said that she used to be a member, and she left, and she was like one of the stars. Like, she is a star. Like, everybody knows who she is. She's won all of these different trophies. She shows off her trophies, and she's won all these different trophies and everything. And the bitch looks good. You hear me? When I say she looks good, she looks good. And she be dancing down. Okay. So, but she says that she left for some personal reasons. And again, I'm sure they'll get into more detail as this series goes on. But she left for some personal reasons. And like I said, I'm just not sure on what you do. Like, and again, I'm not trying to be funny. What do you do? How do you let people know, okay, I no longer want to be a member of this house? Like, I don't know how you do it. So I'm hoping that that's something that I'll learn. And I'm not sure how you join. Do you just become friends with people? Do you ask to join? Do you just start hanging out? Don't know. I know it was kind of covered in Paris is Burning, but like I said, that's from like the 80s. And I don't know if there's a new set of norms in the ballroom scene since Paris is Burning. So, um, Ebony explains to us that there are 5 categories of voguing. You have the hands, you have catwalk. She said what the third one was. I didn't quite catch it, but I'm gonna call it the stoop. You know, when they're voguing and they get down in there and you know they stooping. You know, and Ebony is a big girl, so Ebony was like, "Yeah, this what the big girls can't do." And I was like, "Girl, I'm with you, Ebony. I can't do it either. My knees would be screaming at me like, bitch, who you fooling?" Then you have your twirl, and then you have your floor performance. So those are your 5 categories of voguing. Then you have your different levels. When you first get it, when you first start walking in the houses, you're a virgin. Then you become a statement. Then you become a star, a legend, and then an icon. Alex is what they call a legend, which means the definition for legend means that you have won consistently 4 to 5 years in the same category at different balls. So they don't have to all be the same ball. It could be balls throughout, but you have to be in that same category. So Alex is a legend. To become iconic, you have to be doing this thing for like 20 years. So I'm pretty sure that our icon status is kind of small, right? But there you go. You got to be iconic. And so we see Tati. Again, this episode was more informational. I'm gonna say, like, it was just giving you the groundwork, I guess, to set you up for the rest. So you see, like I said, you see them practicing. A guy by the name of Eric, I believe is his name. Y'all, I wrote these names down. There's a lot of names in this first episode. All right, I don't remember his name. I don't see it. Oh shit, it's right here. Deshaun. Y'all, I'm tripping. Deshaun. Was it Deshaun? Yeah, Deshaun. He had them actually kind of practicing. You see the sun going down as I'm doing this video. Oh my gosh, that's funny. Like, I started here, and as I've been sitting here, oh wow, that's funny. I turned the light off so we wouldn't have the glare, but I guess I should have left it on. It is what it is now. But, so Deshaun, he does commentary, and actually he commentated the Coldest Winter Ball, but also he had like a practice. He teaches. I don't want to say he teaches voguing, but I guess he does, because these were people who vogue, who have won awards. So I don't think he's necessarily teaching them. I think maybe he's helping them improve their craft, helping them choreograph, helping them, bring some new elements. I think they got the voguing thing down. Like, I don't think they're learning how to vogue. And then we get to the ball, and you see Jelani. He walks, but he gets voted out. So it's almost like again, from my understanding, it's like a dance off. You have 2 or 3 people that dance off, and then the crowd sort of votes up or down. And if you get voted up, you move on to the next round. And if you go, you get voted down, it's like, okay, see you later. And so they showed a couple of people. So we saw Jelani, the one who said he's masculine and feminine, he didn't make it, he got voted down, and he was like, you take some, he's like, you win some, you lose some. He was like, it is what it is. He was like, it's political. You got to understand that you're just not going to win every time. And he sort of seemed to take it in stride. And then we had a guy by the name of Relish. He's from the House of Milan. He lost, and he was a little bitter. He was like, I'm very competitive. I don't do this to lose. And I know that I won, and I know that I should have won, but it's all about, again, he said it was political as well. But they both got voted out in their first round, but they took it differently, but you could tell both of them were disappointed. Then they showed Tati, bitch, your ass did it. Tati danced out of her goddamn. She was already having problems with her bodysuit before she started dancing. They showed her in the back trying to get it together. I think she was having some tucking issues too, because she was asking for some tape, but we ain't gonna talk about that. She got out there, honey. She danced out of her bodysuit. By the time she got done, all you could see were You saw her stockings and her whatever draw she had on underneath the stockings. Holes all in the stockings, and her bodysuit was like up to here, was damn near a halter top, right? She danced her ass out of her outfit. You hear me? And she ended up winning. And she was like, this just proves to me that I don't need a house to be successful, because she was worried about the politics, and she was worried about the support, and she was worried about how people would receive her, now that she no longer had a house. And you saw Alex cheering her on, even though they're no longer in the same house. You saw that he was very supportive of her. He gave her a big hug and was talking to her. Alex got a legend walk. He said that's the first time he had got called out to do a legend walk, and he said that made him feel good. It didn't show him compete, so I don't think he competed in this particular ball, and if he did, they didn't show him compete. But yeah, so it was a good episode. It was a good first episode. I got another one I'm going to review tonight, because the first two episodes have already aired, so I'm going to get caught up. And that's why sometimes I was hesitating, because some of the stuff was in the second episode and some of it was in the first episode. But I'm going to come back with the second episode. I'm turning that light on. And I'm going to give you the second episode. I'm going to watch it again, just so I make sure I get all the things in it that I want to say, because I watched it last night. But I didn't want to do a review until I watched the first episode, because I didn't realize I was watching it out of order. Duh. So anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. And again, if I got anything wrong, let a sister know. But say it nicely. Alright, peace.